Good morning, walkers, and welcome back to Livingston, Montana on a typically windy day. It is about 9:30 on April 6th, 48 degrees Fahrenheit, 9 degrees Celsius, and got winds today of, well, just 13 miles an hour. Seems like we're getting gusts much higher than that. This is the Yellowstone River. I am using a separate audio system today, so hopefully that'll keep this wind noise down to a little bit. It's underneath my jacket, so if you hear some rustling, I apologize. Little update on the situation here. Grocery stores are good. They're limiting sales on a per household basis, which is great. We've got 300 cases in the state, 6 cases in the county. So we're doing pretty well. We are going to walk along the Yellowstone River, and you can see it's still pretty low. I'm going to show you this way. This is the Sacagawea Lagoon. This is the band shell where we have our farmers market in the summer. Can't wait for that. Hopefully that won't get canceled. Off in the distance is the high school. That old Quonset hut looking building is the community center. Here's our band shell and benches. It's a nice little park we have here. We are on the levee that they built 20-30 years ago after a massive flood through here. We're going to walk along here, go out onto the 9th Street Island. Not the calmest day for that. And then we'll walk back and go through Sacagawea Park, and depending on how you want to pronounce that. Give us a like, a thumbs up if you don't mind. Subscribe if you haven't done so, that helps us out a lot. Leave us a comment. We do appreciate getting those, and we do read them. Check out our Facebook page, which we just started recently. We're going to post, of course, our own videos, but also other channels that we like to watch and think are worth your time. And I hope everybody's staying safe and healthy out there. I know it can be super frustrating. Gotten several comments from people that are walking in place while watching these because they don't have a treadmill. Do what you can to keep your body moving. It'll help a little bit. Hang in there. We're in this together. Oh, in one of my other walks, I talked about Montana Banksy, and you can see out there a spiral sun. That is one of her works this year's. Very cool. Maintaining social distance. Love hearing the spring birds coming, all their calls. A lot of robins. I've seen some dark-eyed juncos. We have sparrows year-round. We have black-capped chickadees. Of course, the geese and the ducks. Flickers are here, I think, pretty much year-round. It's a pretty rock. A couple of them. Down here we've got a little beaver dam. It's not really damming anything anymore. That will most likely get washed away next month or so. But never fear, they have, I'll show you on the way back, some areas where they have been, where they're good to go. I suspect that, see a lot of holes in this bank. Can't help but think that those are burrows of some sort that have been washed out. Another little area where Fleischmann Creek spills out, one of the places it spills out into the river. It's fun to bring the kids down here when they were little, poke around. That mountain up ahead is the wine glass. And this park off to the right is called Waterworks Hill, the old Waterworks. And in the winter it serves as a little sledding hill. Gets packed with kids having a blast, dogs chasing them around. It's a good time. This is the 9th Street Island Bridge. 10 years ago they had a flood and it was an old bridge, got washed out. And they had a temporary military bridge that they put over here for a couple of years until they could get the funding together to build this new one. And there used to be, well, there still is a ramp down here on the right, but the channel has dried up so much that it's basically unusable, except for a month or so a year. Off to the left is Sheep Mountain downstream. Sorry about this. There we go. up here a little bit. Got a microphone issue here. That's better. So that highway sound is I-90, Interstate 90, and this is going to be where we're going to go underneath it. It's where it crosses the Yellowstone. It's definitely the downside of being out, one of the downsides of being out on this island. Living out here is a constant drone of that. Somebody has a horse pastured out here. If you can see him in there. Oh, here we go. Here's one. Two of them. Sorry, that's my zipper, my jacket. the other branch, other channel of the river, main channel now. And of course, here's the bridges, either lane of the interstate. This is a narrow spot on the island, so we can go right over here and see the other smaller branch. Come out here and swim when the water's a little higher. We're going to turn around here and head back. Not much further up to the right is the road dead ends and it becomes private property. Morning. One of the many things I like about this town is, or any real small town, is people say hello, smile at each other. It's nice. One of the things I can't pass on through the video is the smell of these willows. They're just really sweet, damp smell. It's awesome. So on the way back, we'll divert after we get off the island and go around the Sacagawea Park, following Fleischmann Creek. Maybe we'll see some beavers over there. Here are our horse friends again. Oh, there's a flicker on this metal roof. I'm just on the right top side of that. See if he'll drill for a second. they're a kind of woodpecker kind of bird, and they'll pound on those metal roofs. I should have said this is 9th Street. It is the 9th Street Island. This street goes all the way up to Park, which is the main drag through town, Highway 89. And we're going to make a right on River Street. Smells like someone might be using their medical card. This is 8th, but it's a dead end. And then here is Fleshmans Creek, which is this hydrologically kind of strange thing because they have an outlet on the right. I'm going to swing over here slowly. We saw that earlier. And it can flow out into the Yellowstone, but it will also flow out the other direction to the Lagoon, and then it goes from the Lagoon down to another creek, which is Fleischmann Creek, along town, and then again out to the Yellowstone near Mayor's Landing. And Mayor's Landing is across from Myers River View Trail where we walked a couple days ago. Sacagawea Park, this is the big park in town. Gazebos, playgrounds, sport fields, tennis courts, no dogs. So I mentioned the beavers before, and I think they've, I know they've taken up residence over in this creek. Excuse me. We were over here the other evening, and someone told us we just missed them. But we'll see some signs of their activity as well. Not too far up here. The other thing you might see in this little creek sometimes are moose. They'll come down out of the mountains and start munching on these willows. And they can be pretty aggressive, pretty dangerous. Got some mallards in here. And they will, I think they'll chase them out, get them out of town where they can be safe, not be bothered by dogs and people. So I think you can see down in there on that big willow branch, they've been chewing. I'll go through here. You can see where the beavers have been gnawing. That's the inflow, and then this is the other branch of this where it splits. And looks like a bunch more of places where the beavers have been at work. Kind of fun. Maybe we'll spy some up here. If you hear a big slap on the water, that's the beaver giving a warning. I don't see anything. Missed a bunch of ducks today. These are a couple of the practice fields the leagues use, soccer leagues use. Hopefully they'll be able to get those going this summer. Looks like a little bird got eaten there. Let's go back. You can see the tennis courts and the playground over there. We're going to go back over to the creek. It's a little bit prettier over there. Not too long, we'll start to see baby ducks and baby geese all through here. Here's the dam. They've made a dam. The beavers. Good spot for it because the city can't get in here very easily to tear it out. They've had down near Mayor's Landing, beavers get in there and they build a dam, and then it backs up the water of the creek where it floods trails and starts to get into people's property, and they actually have to bring in a backhoe to tear it out because these things are so well made. I don't think it'll cause a problem here though. I hope. It's where a lot of the ducks come in and out of the water. People come down and feed them. Can't see it, but there's a bald eagle flying out over there, straight ahead, just above the trees. Pretty common sight here. Still pretty spectacular. Giant birds. This is our very scenic, picturesque bridge over the Lagoon. Excuse me. And then here's the lagoon. In the winter, oh no, looks like the pier is falling in on itself, but across the way, the lagoon, it freezes in the winter, and people come out and clear space and make it into a skating rink, play a little hockey sometimes. Here's a better look of the inflow stream. You might think people will swim in this lagoon, but it's actually pretty gross. I think there's a lot of fecal matter, E. coli kind of stuff that ends up flowing into there. They do have a fishing derby every year, which is pretty fun. And they'll stock some fish in there, and little kids come out and catch fish, which they do not eat, and get prizes and stuff. It's pretty fun. So we are on Yellowstone, which I think is 4th Street, equates to in the numbers. So to the left is 5th, to the right is 3rd, and we're going to make a right on Butte Street. Looks like they're doing some power work here. Got a bouldering rock, some organization put in here. Used to be kind of a derelict park, and now it's got a little bit of a new life, although it's been there for 4 or 5 years. Excuse me. Crossing 3rd Street, so I guess you'll, yeah, 3rd Street, I said that right. I've always loved this house and apartment or duplex, whatever it is over here. And that also, to the right, is the city pool, which has become so derelict and run down that they've closed it. I mean, it would be closed anyway. And they're trying to raise funds to build a new pool for the town. We're gonna get into this wind noise again. Sorry. We're gonna walk across here, and you'll start to see, again, Livingston Peak in the background. The peak in the middle is, I think it's Elephant Head maybe, or the one behind that is Elephant Head. And then you've got the Civic Center again, which we'll walk past. Off to the left is the high school, Park County Rangers. And then straight ahead, a few years ago, they did a huge fundraising drive. Not, these young people did it. Raised enough money to create the McNair skate park. And so now we've got this really sweet skate park, which is now currently closed because of the shelter-in-place order. But we'll go take a look, see. And off to the right is the community center. It's old, it's run down, but we love it. It's a great asset to the community. I'm just gonna go up here, show it to you guys. It's pretty sweet. I wouldn't have the guts to do it, but lots of kids do, and it's a great resource for them. And then of course you've got some athletic fields back there, softball and baseball. Also where the high school does some football drills. cut through here. Give you another look at the band shell and the river. I'm hoping that I can get out on some of these trails. It's kind of a sword, flip sides of the sword. I want the weather to come in and melt the snow so I can hike, but the snow is what, it's like our reservoir of water for the year. So if it melts out too soon, we get a lot of fires and that sort of thing. Here's our band shell, the park for farmers market, some concerts, that sort of thing. It's a lot of fun. Great, and it's sort of the thing you do every Wednesday is come down to the farmers market, get a beer, have a picnic. They have food trucks too and food booths. So we'll come up here and take another look at the Yellowstone, and then we'll call it a day. Thanks for joining us. Subscribe, like, comment, all that fun stuff. Support each other, take care of each other, look out for each other in these hard times, and keep walking. We'll see you next time.